Hi, I'm Shay Oliver. Welcome to the Priority Paradigm. I'm sharing stories of amazing people who've made radical changes in their lives for something more important. Today, I'm joined by Kennedi, Katheryn, and Benjamin Limoges. They have a very interesting story to tell. I've recently interviewed their parents, and they have decided that they want to share their perspective on the story. So without further ado, please tell us your story.
Okay. Well, it all just started, we were just whatever in high school. And then one day we were all called down to our office and our parents showed us this video, which they talked about in theirs. And they presented an idea to us just if we wanted to take like our next year, it would have been his senior year and then our sophomore year to like travel, sell the house and travel. And we were all kind of shaky about it, kind of like, this is such a cool experience to do. I think we all kind of had our moments of like yes and no. You guys have any?
I definitely think that when they first presented the idea, none of us thought that it would actually happen. It was just kind of like a pointless conversation, but
it was like a cool idea, but that it would never actually work out. I know we had conversations.
Yeah, but like from the beginning, I knew that I wanted to do it. I was like, no one else gets to experience this. Like if that actually worked out, that'd be so cool. But definitely didn't think it would happen. And so very cool that we're actually here doing it. But
and then for me, like she said, like at first I was like, wow, this is so cool. Like I would love to do this. And then I had my moment of, well, do I want to like leave all my friends and all of like the experiences of high school and like prom and football games and those kind of things. And so it was hard, but looking at it, like no one else gets to experience this. And this is such a cool like opportunity that we have to do it. Did you have any moments?
Yeah, like at first I was a little shaky because I didn't really want to miss my senior year of high school because I was already kind of established in my school,
Sure.
But eventually I like agreed to it, although I'm not really going to. I'm not really going to do it.
Yeah, so then
because
unfortunately, like the house didn't sell the first time. And so we started our next year, so we weren't gonna like leave through it. And then once we put it back on the market and it actually sold, I know my parents said this as well, but we were a lot more prepared the second time. We had like sold furniture and started like organizing our stuff and so I think it was definitely meant to be that time. And then though Benj can't like travel with us, he got to do some of his own travels this summer.
During the summer, I went to Thailand, and then as a family trip, we went to Mexico, Belize, and Guatemala.
Cool.
Back from, so I still got to travel to 5 different countries summer.
Very, very cool. So what was it like in the moments after your parents said, hey, let's sell it all and go travel? What did you feel inside your gut? Was it more excitement or was it more fear, or was it like, well, there they go again, parents talking about plans that aren't going to happen?
I think it was definitely excitement, like for me, for you guys to know.
Yeah. I don't think the fear really showed up until we knew the house was actually going to be sold. And then it was like, whoa, like,
because until that point, it was just like a really cool idea, but then it actually turned into like reality and like, we're actually going to do it. So,
and what were you guys scared of? What was the fear about?
It's a fear in itself, leaving everything you know to do something you've never done before. So,
and then the unknown, like we don't know what's going to happen, like when we're there, when we're going to travel, or
like we're going on a trip in 2 weeks for our first time in Europe, and we don't have it planned past September. So it's like you just never really know like what you're doing, and you just kind of have to go with the flow with everything. So
I would say like the fear of like missing out with like our friends in high school and that kind of stuff. So that was it was hard, but looking back, like it was the right decision, definitely.
So Benjamin, for you, did you take off after your senior year? Did you get to finish high school?
Yeah, so basically, like, I think it was 1 week after high school ended or something, I just went on a plane to Thailand, and I was actually with my cousins for that. So I was about a week in Thailand, and then I flew to Japan, where I spent almost a month with host families, basically all around Japan. So I got to experience their actual life, you know.
Sure. So you did the Japan by yourself.
Yeah, for the most part. My cousins like went to Japan for like 5 days with me, and then they flew back, but I stayed.
So were you nervous suddenly being left alone on the other side of the planet?
A little bit. Like transportation was a little bit difficult because I can't really read most of the signs and things like that. So I did do the subway and like by myself and things like that.
Cool. Very cool. So let's jump back to when shortly after your parents said, hey, let's go do this crazy idea of ours. And you started thinking about what you might miss. What were the things that specifically came into your mind that you thought, I'm going to miss in my life if I go do something else?
For us, I could definitely say that it'd be prom because we'd be going into our junior year. So like we're missing all of prom, like since we've never been to it before. But it's just the little things like that, which is going to be like one night, which will suck, but overall we'll be experiencing so much more. So it really just doesn't compare.
Well, because even now for me, I think about like, oh, all my friends are going to get to go to homecoming and prom and this kind of stuff. But then I think about, well, what about the everyday, not these events, these big events? I wouldn't want to be there in the everyday. Like it wouldn't be anything special when I could be in Prague, you know?
Uh-huh. Absolutely. So Benjamin, you didn't get to miss out on prom and homecoming. Did you?
Yeah, I went to prom.
Was it the best experience of your life?
No, it was kind of boring.
So how did prom compare to Thailand and Japan?
Pretty badly.
You'd have rather gone to Thailand and Japan. So after you began this process of heading into, oh my gosh, we're really going to leave, what did you tell your friends and how did they react?
Oh, well, we weren't able to tell our friends until like 2 weeks before we were leaving.
Oh my gosh.
Because of like jobs and everything. So it was kind of hard, but actually our friends showed up at our house one day to give us ice cream, just like a fun little whatever. And they saw that the house was almost all packed up.
Yeah. Like, oh, we actually have to tell them right now. Like,
yeah, so that was hard because we didn't really have a choice. It was, I don't know. And then I guess our other friends, you know, some of them were like, this is so cool. I'm so happy for you. And then others were like, I'm going to miss you so much. Like, I'm so sad. But I think like all of them were supportive and excited.
So how many of them are jealous?
Only a couple, actually.
Really?
Most of them are like want the high school experience. But then I know our best friend, she's like, I want to do this so bad. Like, I think she was kind of inspired by what we're able to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What about your friends, Benjamin?
Well, their first reaction is like, why? They're like, why? Like, why would you do? I don't know. I don't think guys really care as much. It's not really big of a deal. It's like, oh, that's interesting.
I think it's different for them too because all of his friends are going to college right now.
Yeah.
So it's already a new experience for them. Like they're leaving high school to go to college. So
And they were already like parting ways, but we were still supposed to be there for another 2 years.
Yeah. So do you feel now that you want to go back and have a traditional high school experience?
no.
Not at all.
Why not?
There was so much just bad that you just never really knew until you left it.
And like nothing was actually like bad. It was just like there was so much better that could have been going on, which we're experiencing right now.
Can you give me examples?
Just again with like the everyday, I feel like I felt like I was wasting a lot of time in school because of slower learners or just that I could do things faster and kind of that I felt it was pointless at some parts. So I really like online school because I get to go on my own pace and
Because now that we're back in Virginia, like visiting everyone, so it's like they're all in school right now. So we have to wait till they get home at like 3, and it's like we've already been done with school like for hours by the time they're out. It's just like pointless, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So did you, as you're doing the online school, are you accelerating your education to get done quicker, or are you moving at the same rate as your peers?
Well, we're only doing one class at a time, but we've been doing it for probably 2 weeks now, and we're already like 1/3 done of one class. So I think we're moving like really fast, and I'm excited for that because.
So do you think you graduate before your friends?
It's a possibility.
Yeah.
I'm not sure yet, just because I don't want to be spending like a lot of my time doing school when I can be experiencing different countries. So I think it'll just depend on the pace that we go.
So you guys will get to choose and do it yourself.
Yes.
So, all right, so you're teenagers doing your own school thing. Do you guys get up as early to do schoolwork?
Wow. we try and wake up at like 8, and then we end up waking up at like 10, but
Yeah.
it's fun.
Okay, well, that's kind of what I figured. So you're getting to head off, Benjamin, and do something totally different in college.
Yeah, so I'm actually a dual citizen of Canada and the USA. So I'm actually going to university in Canada. It's Queen's University in Kingston, Ontario. It's kind of near Ottawa. I don't know.
So now you've made a decision to go do a traditional path for education. Do you feel like you're getting a little left behind, or is it new enough? Doesn't matter.
Well, the plan right now is in December, I'm going to meet them in Europe for a few countries before, like while I'm off school, and back for school as it starts. But I feel like I'm missing out a little bit, but
At least you get to new
It's okay,
experience for college.
I'm excited for college. So,
But
Right.
like
So-
my friends say, like, well, why is he going to Canada? You know, so it's a cool experience that an American gets to experience
Oh, absolutely.
culture.
Absolutely. So as you guys have done this, the various travelings that you've done, how has it changed your family dynamics between the siblings and between your relationships with your parents?
I think our family has always been like pretty close as it is, but traveling for a month in Central America, you stay in like 2-bedroom places, so we're really close all the time. But we actually don't argue very much. Sometimes. I think just we're really close, and we actually like being around each other.
And I think that we like honestly became closer once the idea of even traveling got brought up, because we were always like in the office together looking at the world map and talking about places and things we could do. And so I had said it before, like I was like, I felt like we just became so much closer with just that idea, that I know like the traveling is a whole different dynamic of that. Like,
Sure. So what about you, Ben or Benjamin?
what was the question again?
Family
okay.
dynamics. How's it changed your relationship?
Yeah, I think everyone became a little bit closer when we all had this idea that, like, my parents had a dream that they really wanted to travel, like, with their kids and stuff like that. So this was kind of like the last chance before we're all off to college and stuff like that. So, yeah, I think it brought us closer in the end, but not really sure how. But
That's
something to talk about and discuss.
Yeah.
And
Sure. So each of you, what's your favorite part of traveling the way that you guys have been traveling?
trying the food for me.
All right.
I like to try everything. So
I'm with you.
yeah, that was definitely
okay. So for me, my favorite part is when we're at like a place with a really, really nice view, and like I can just sit there and like I don't even know how to explain, just take it in. Like I could be sitting in school, but like this is my life. Like I always just feel so lucky and blessed at that moment. So.
All right. So.
And then for me, I think I would say being able to like see the culture in a different place and how like different we act versus how a different country acts. I think that's really cool.
Okay, can you give me an example of that? Where something's just like been a big surprise or been cool to see and experience?
I think like the tuk-tuks in Guatemala, because I had never heard of them, but they're like the little small 3-wheel things where you fit
Taxi.
2 people.
Taxi,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You would never see that here. Also, the taxi prices are so
they're
cheap down
amazing
there versus here.
Uh-huh. Okay, so Kennedi, I have to ask, so you're sitting having your cup of tea or whatever at the amazing view. Does the mobile phone come out to snap a picture and harass your classmates?
I'm not gonna lie, it does. But the good thing is that when we're traveling, a lot of the time our phones aren't working. So even if we take that picture, it's a couple days until it's posted. So
Also, I think a lot of the time, like we take pictures to like capture the moment and not even to post, but just to like be able to go back and be like remember what we were thinking in that moment and where we were. And it's just, it like was such a cool opportunity.
Very cool. Very, very cool. So, as you've gotten to do this experience and do something so different from everyone else, how do you think it's changed your view of yourself?
I think it makes you be more outgoing when you're like in another country and and they don't know any of the language or something. So let's say in Mexico we had to order our food in Spanish. Like I don't know any Spanish. I never took a Spanish class in my life. But I try and I don't know. It makes you realize you have to be outgoing if you want to get what you want
and also like respect the culture. I think it's to be able to travel like this, you have to be respectful towards the way other people live their life and that we're the foreigners, you know? So, do you have anything?
How's it changed you?
I honestly just think that since like we've started traveling, I'm just a happier person and like same like more outgoing and stuff, but I just think like my whole view of life and like what the everyday life should be has completely changed for the better, obviously. But
can you say a little more about that?
Yeah, because I
would agree with that. Just like being happier and being able to like live out our dreams, kind of, even though we're so young. Just I think we all have a passion for traveling. So being able to travel this young is amazing, and it's an experience I hope everyone can experience like at some point.
And I think what really like makes it so much better is that we wanted to do it at a certain time, and then it actually happened a year later. So because she said earlier, like we thought we were ready when we put the house on the market the first time, but after putting it on the second time, I know we were not ready the first time, and so that was like a blessing in disguise that it didn't sell then. But so I think that like I've been like thinking about this happening and dreaming about this happening for so long that now that it's actually happening, it's like unbelievable.
Uh-huh.
That's the way to describe that.
Absolutely. So the travel's changed each of you some individually. How has it changed your view of the world?
I want to see it all. That's all.
I love it.
It's amazing.
I mean, with all the countries that you go to, you learn the history and just the culture of how it's different. You can compare it to your culture,
and you don't actually like learn about the world. I feel like you can't learn about it unless you're actually there, because you can read a textbook, but you're not going to know what it's actually like until you meet the people there and the culture and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Cool. So, talked about a lot of positive stuff about what you guys have been doing. What have you had any negative experience traveling?
Travel days are the absolute worst.
They're really hard, but because I think everyone gets stressed in our family on travel days, like we should, but I don't know.
It's
long
part,
bus rides.
It's part of the unknown that we talked about. Like on we can talk about the one specific travel day when we went from Guatemala back up to Mexico.
Tell us.
So that day, that day first, it started off, my mom was sick. So she woke up throwing up. And so we were like, great, this is going to be a great day. So then our private direct shuttle showed up, which is not private, it's not direct. You squish on two people in like one seat, can't really even
it was
fit on the seat.
And then going through the immigration, the lines
we had to go through 4 immigrations that day.
It took a long time.
Took like hours standing in the sun, and then my mom's sick, so we're worried about her. And then they had like one guard doing the like hundreds of people in line, and it just.
And then the money situation wasn't that there too.
That was there too, and so
our parents didn't have enough money
because
they had to get some from them. And
they don't have ATMs at the border, but they only take cash though, and it costs like 30 or 20
per person.
$20 per person to enter or exit.
Yeah, so we had to pay to go into Belize because we were going through Belize from Guatemala to Mexico. And so you had to pay going through there, but then of course they don't have ATMs or any
like card machines
or anything. So I had like a $20 in my phone case, and like we had to go back to the shuttle, like get escorted there to get some money from like my brother's wallet just to have enough to pay to go through. We're like, it's like unbelievably like complicated for no reason.
And especially when it's like hot outside, it's harder to travel.
No air conditioning, of course.
It's so hot outside, and there's and you're just standing in the sun waiting. And
I mean, they're fun. It's fun to look back on.
Yeah,
but during the
day,
it's hard.
So what did it teach you that day?
Bring money.
Always have cash on you.
Always have cash.
I mean, but you have to be patient when doing those things, even though it's really hard because it's super hot and not feeling well. But I guess that's all you can really learn from it.
What about Benjamin in Asia? What was did you have any rough days?
Rough days? Actually, not really. It was pretty great the whole time. I don't know. It was very stressful, like on the subway sometimes, because I had to use the subway system twice to get across Japan, basically. And that was a little bit stressful because I'm like, am I getting on the right train here? I don't really know. It's like all written in Japanese.
So did you guys get lost at all while you were traveling?
I don't think so.
No.
Not really, no.
Luckily, we did not.
What would you do if you did?
Huh?
What would we do if we did?
Depends where we are.
I'd probably see if my phone has service and try to map my way back.
Because luckily, when we were in Central America, my dad speaks a little bit of Spanish. Mm-hmm. So if we got lost there, he could ask someone, but
try to communicate.
But when we're in Europe and with all the different languages there, it's just, I don't know what we'll do with that.
So what's going to happen if you're in wherever, Europe, Central America, you get separated from your parents and you're lost?
We're going to try not to get that situation. Honestly, I don't know.
Uh-oh.
Well, to like stay in the same spot? I don't know.
I Google Translate something on my phone and ask where I should go. I don't know.
We're really good at like making sure everyone knows the plan and like staying together. So we'll get in that situation, but you never know. So.
So do you guys think you can handle yourselves if that happens?
Hopefully.
Yeah, I feel like we could.
Yeah, I think we.
Like
if all three of us were together, I think we would be able to like keep calm and figure out what to do. It'd be harder if it was like just me and Kennedi because he brings like a calm effort.
Yeah.
Don't panic as much, huh?
Yeah. He's like, whatever.
Go with the flow.
Very cool. So now that you're back and you're getting a chance to see some of your friends,
Mhm.
do you guys see some differences in the friendships that might not exist if you were here or at home or wherever home might be to you?
Yeah, obviously there was some like distance, I think, when we even first like told our friends. It was like not as easy to like talk to each other, and then seeing them, it's never going to be the same, and I just have to accept that. I think besides like our best friend right now, which she totally like understands, she's the one who like is so supportive with us. I think the relationships are different. They're still like fine, but they're just not the
For me, I think the relationships are pretty much the same.
Yeah, you just take off and come back and it's all cool.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Welcome back. There we go.
Yep. So how has this experience of doing the travel, of being in a non-normal lifestyle, changed your plans for yourself for the future?
I think we are all gonna definitely make sure that we travel a lot more because we all just love it. So I think definitely making time for that in our lives will be really important.
I want to like possibly study abroad,
Mhm.
probably to like Japan or something, and sometime in university would be pretty interesting too.
Cool. So did you guys have, this is the quintessential adult question. Did you know what you had an idea of what you wanted to be when you grew up? Has that changed as you've done this experience, or did you just not even know before this?
I was hoping this experience would help me with that because I'm very indecisive, so I have no idea what I want to do. But I know that it definitely has to do with being in different places. I don't want to be stuck in the same place doing the same thing for all my life. So
Why not?
that's just not who I am. That's not what would make me happy. So
I don't think it's fulfilling life that way. Same thing instead of being able to experience different things.
So did you have something that you wanted to be when you grew up, or has this changed that drive direction?
I go through like a lot of things.
Every month she wants to do something different.
Yeah. So I don't have like an exact plan, but I think it's like solidified that I want to make sure traveling is important, and whether that's with my job or having a job that lets me travel, either one of those, as long as I get to experience new things.
Yeah, I'm possibly, I wanted to study international business with my school, so I kind of already like wanted to do that before this trip, honestly, but because I just like international things. Yeah, I mean, it basically solidified that, yes, I want to study international and learn different cultures. And
Sure. Very cool. So if we could go back to those days right after your parents said, crazy idea, we're going to take off and travel the world. What would have happened for you guys, do you think, if it hadn't happened?
Well, I think after the first time and not selling, I was definitely like, well, it's not going to work,
No.
Like,
isn't he saying? He's saying, what if they never showed you the video?
Oh, okay.
Then
Sorry.
what? Like
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Well, you want to go?
I don't think I would know any better. I think I would just continue living while not living, just going on every day. But I feel like eventually I would end up traveling and realizing that that was a waste of time. But I think it was the perfect time that they brought it up.
I mean, we always like love traveling as it is. Like she said, it would have just been like we wouldn't have known any better. So it's been like a big deal. But I mean, I think we're all so happy that we did get to do this.
Ben? You were taking off anyway.
Let's see.
Yeah.
What if they never?
You were going to college soon.
Yeah.
So it wasn't
Taking off anyway. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it would have affected him very much because when he came back from Japan, which I'm sure he would have already done, we went to Central America like 5 days later. So I'm sure he would have been happy not traveling anymore because he was already exhausted after a month's trip. But
Sure. So if you could go back and talk to that person the day after your parents showed you that video, who was uncertain, who was kind of trying to make the decision, going, hey, this is really cool, but oh, geez, what would you tell that person?
I don't know. I don't think I would want to change how I thought about everything because I went through the stages that led me here, and I think those were all necessary and needed to happen for me to be happy with the decision that I made and not think that I maybe made a wrong decision. You agree?
I agree.
Agree?
Agree?
That's pretty easy. All right. So if, you guys are young, I mean, relative speaking to many people who may be watching this, you guys got to make a choice at a very young age to radically change your lives, to go from a traditional experience in high school to go travel the world. You gave up a lot. You focused on prom and homecoming, which is kind of what everyone does when they talk about travel with teenagers. But you also gave up some opportunities of relationships. So especially for you, Kennedi and Katheryn, how was it inside to think, okay, my field of potential people to date just changed? What was that like?
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't really think we were interested in anyone anyway.
Yeah, we weren't we're not very focused on, I guess, having a partner at this time. Sure, it would have been nice to have a boyfriend, but I don't think really it wasn't that big of a deal, I think, to me and Kennedi.
We both just believe everything will happen for a reason, so I'm not trying to find anyone. It's not really a big deal for me as it might be for other people.
And I think there's plenty of time in the future to have relationships. So right now I just want to
maybe a European boy.
I mean, European.
And Benjamin?
I don't know. Am I supposed to be talking as if I'm going on the full trip, or what?
So you've taken off. Do you feel like it's changed your expectations for relationships with a potential significant other?
For what?
For dating. I mean, you're kind of going into a traditional college experience, so it doesn't change that much for you.
I don't know if it really changed. I don't know.
I think he has the same opportunities as he would in high school. I guess we won't because we'll be moving around so much.
Yeah.
And that doesn't seem to be something you're even fazed by in the least, which is very. So, if you guys were given the opportunity to talk to somebody who was older, who was facing a choice in life of either going one way or going the other, what's the one thing you would tell them to do?
I would say everything happens for a reason. So just follow your instincts, your heart, your mind, everything, whatever it's telling you, everything will work out. And you made that decision for a reason. So
do what your heart says and follow your dreams. Actually commit to it. Don't just be like, oh, I wish I could go travel in Europe.
Yeah, don't say you can't do something.
Save up your money. If you really want to do something, you'll make it happen.
Katheryn?
Yeah, they both kind of covered what I was going to say. Follow your heart, and what's meant to be will be.
Cool. So even though you're getting to live a different lifestyle. You guys get to continue to bond as a family. Do you think that the travel is going to make you even closer as a family as you travel in the future?
Definitely. I don't think that it could happen any other way. I mean, you're experiencing things other families don't get to experience, of the love of travel as well as the hardships and the stresses of it. And just getting through it all, there's no way that you can't become closer.
It's a lot of experiences that we get to do together. So I think it'll bring us closer.
Like, are they like, is your family, but they're basically going to be like your roommate,
Your friends.
and your friends,
Yeah.
your everything, basically.
Certainly. Well, I am really, really happy for you guys getting to do this. It's such a cool experience that you get to do this and then share it with, with me and with your friends. Do you think that you will choose a lifestyle when you have kids, if you have kids, that's going to include lots of moving around?
So I don't know if you guys agree, but for me, I personally do not want to travel with my kids when they're young. I don't think that it's going to bring any experiences that they can actually grasp and appreciate as if you were older.
Uh-huh.
So I think that when I have a family, I will settle down, and probably end up asking my kids the same thing if they want to travel, so that they can experience the same things that I got to.
Yeah. I think after being able to learn about world history,
Yeah, and then
in high school, I was able to understand when I'm going to museums or seeing different architecture. I was actually able to understand what I was seeing. So I agree to not travel when they're super young. But traveling, yes. And moving around, I'm not sure exactly, just because I think it'll depend on jobs and my husband and everything that goes into that.
Definitely would want to travel eventually, but yeah, that's a good point. Not to travel too early where they won't remember it or experience it fully.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So another tough question here.
Okay.
What's the most important thing in life?
Actually living it.
Whoa, very good.
Yeah. I don't. That's really my answer. I have nothing to add to that. I think that you can't just go by life thinking that you're living if you're not actually experiencing anything, or I don't know.
I would say probably to be actually happy, and whether that is just staying in a small town, raising your family. If you're happy like that, then that's amazing. But I also think that everyone should travel to learn different cultures, and if that makes you happy, then that's what you should do.
Yeah, and well, for me, I don't even think that living life has to be traveling. I think it's just doing whatever makes you happy, whatever you're interested in, just actually following your dreams and your goals in life. Otherwise, you're just going by without any successes or anything. You're just...
Sure.
Most important thing in life, maybe oxygen. I don't know. Yeah, they had good points. Just doing what makes you happy. Pretty simple, but
that's actually
good.
Those are good answers. So I really appreciate you guys taking some time today. This has been really fun. Is there a way people can follow you, contact you if they want to know more about your travels and what you're doing, or even get a hold of you?
Yeah, we're all on Instagram and Facebook.
And then I know my parents. Said it before, but I started a YouTube channel to document our travels, so they can.
Give yourself a shout out here.
Give yourself a shout out.
Good shout out.
But they can subscribe to that if they want to follow our adventures, and they can actually see not only the good but the bad in those videos. So
very cool.
very
Very cool.
Ray.
What's the, do you know the URL for the YouTube channel? If
Well,
not, we can get
if
it
you go on YouTube and like look up Kennedi, one word, then my channel should come up, and then they can.
Okay, I'll get the link and make sure that it's with the video. Cool. Everyone else? What do you, Instagram?
Yeah, I usually
Yeah.
just post on Instagram, like the different locations I'm at.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Gotta
Very
get
cool.
people close, you know.
Cool. So you guys have seen this. So I always end with the same question, which is, what question should I have asked you?
I don't think there's any that I can think of.
What was the most different cultural experience that you experienced, I guess?
All right, now answer the question.
All right. Let's see.
I mean, you went to Japan, so that's
Yeah,
easier.
I'm gonna say in Japan, well, you have to take off your shoes before you enter the house every time. That's pretty different. People bow instead of like shaking hands most of the time. I don't know, a lot of little things. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I feel like that was like a
Wasn't there
bigger
beds?
like culture.
Isn't their beds different or something?
Yeah, their beds are like some of the beds are just like a mat on the ground, basically. It wasn't very comfortable, honestly.
And then of course,
But,
chopsticks.
yeah, everyone uses chopsticks instead of forks.
Rice with every meal.
Yeah, you have rice every meal. I don't know, just a lot of little things for me. But
Yeah.
Well, I feel like we didn't have as big of like a culture shock as like you might have had, because I don't think the cultures are too much different. Obviously, there are some things that they do different in like Mexico and Central America, but I don't think there was
The biggest one, which makes sense, was in Belize when we were on Cape Cocker Island. So it was like a really small island, so you didn't have to wear shoes anywhere, or you could be wearing your bathing suits in restaurants and everything. Like it didn't matter, which is different, but it makes sense since it's on an island. Oh, and they had only golf carts and bikes. They didn't have any
no cars
or transportation or anything.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, guys, thank you so much for spending some time with us. It's been really fun. I'm going to go subscribe to your YouTube channel and follow you guys on Instagram because I want to see what you guys do. Not just in the next couple of years, but I'm interested to see how this changes you guys long term. I think it's going to be interesting to see what you do long term, and I have a feeling that each of you is probably going to make a very positive impact on the world. So thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.